that you base your happiness around material women and large paper. That means you're inferior, not major.
Alright, today we are finally going to be getting these manifolds prepped for ceramic coating. A lot of people have asked why I haven't changed them or why I'm not going to change them. These are kind of like really the best option for fitment. You don't have a lot of room. Let me move you back some so you can see. You got to remember that this almost butts up against the body of the car, the like engine bay area that we had to cut out to begin with. So to get something bigger just really isn't an option. So these are also super affordable and they flow pretty decent for what they are. So that's why we're just going to ceramic coat these, make them look pretty. You'll see. You'll see. All right, before we get started today, I want to show you guys something exciting that I got in my P.O. box today. A viewer sent this to me. It says, "Hey Taylor, perhaps these Craftsman tools will find a home in your collection. You may be a Milwaukee fan, but I swear by Craftsman for hand tools nonetheless, they're the shit." I can't, there's no name, I can't find a name, but I remember seeing a comment saying something like, well, it should be coming to your P.O. box from Amazon, so I'll try to find that and we insert it here. But much appreciated. This is like a pass-through setup, which we had these at work, and I've been meaning to get some. I was just like, what could this be? I have to check it. So, huge thank you to whoever sent this to me. I'll find your name. Thank you very much. This is sick. It will be very useful, and it will find a home in my toolbox. So, what we're doing today is stripping these manifolds down, taking these heat shields off. And what we're going to do is cut these nubs off where the heat shields mount to and grind them down flush and just kind of like clean these up. We'll probably grind this lettering off too, maybe. It kind of looks cool, but so because we're going to be getting them coated. So the other thing we got to do today is remove a couple of broken off exhaust studs with some TIG welding. So that's what's in store for today. Pretty simple.
He must have skill.
Before after. Obviously it'll look better when it's not some bare metal and some rust once I get it coated. Alright, I think I got them finished up. This one came out a little better, mainly just because the first cuts were a little better. I need to smooth it out just a little bit more. I mean, it doesn't need to be perfect. It's going to look better than rusty cast iron with letters stamped in it and stuff, but pretty happy with it. I think it'll look really good once they're coated. You guys will see. Look at how much dust there is from that. Oh my gosh. It's even on the floor. You can see it. Dusty AF. Now that my manifolds are done, I have at least one. I think there's a couple on this side. But we have at least one broken exhaust stud to pull out, so we're going to use the TIG welder and try and get that thing out. Give it a shot, I guess. That's a big enough tab. Let me show you guys what it looks like. You know, we're not going to be welding to the head because we won't break through the aluminum oxide coating. So we can only really weld to the studs. So what I did was I just focused on the heat on the center of the stud and just kind of like dabbed it into a puddle and just kept growing it, let off a little bit, let it cool down, heat it back up, and then that would heat up just the edge of it and then dab that. And that was the first time I've ever done that. It's pretty simple. Let's see if we can get it off now. Ta-da! Haha! I'm pretty stoked on how easy that was. That was cake. Alright, I'm going to see if I have any more to do, and I'll do them real quick and then stuff. All right, well, that's going to be it for tonight. We'll pick this back up when we're either back from the ceramic coaters or at the ceramic coaters. So I'll see you guys in like 2 seconds. All right, so it kind of took a while because I took forever to get them to the ceramic coaters. They got them done super quick, and then it kind of took a little while to pick them back up because I was out of town traveling. But the ceramic headers are done. The headers are done. They're ceramic coated. I got them done by Performance Coat, which is in Orlando, kind of by the Central Florida Fairgrounds. Great place. I just asked on Facebook, hey, like, what's a good ceramic coating place? The rain scared me. And overwhelmingly, pretty much everyone I know said Performance Coat. Everyone who got work done by them was super happy, and I'm super happy because they came out incredibly nice. I picked this polish color, which worked out because I didn't even really know I was going to do this engine bay color, but I feel like they go together pretty well. So I'm super happy with these. Huge thanks to Performance Coat for getting these done so quick and doing such a good job on them. If you guys need anything ceramic coated, definitely check them out, performancecoat.com. I'll put the link below to their website and their Facebook. They said the easiest way was their website via email to contact them if you guys need any work done. But we're gonna put these on as well as get ideally everything else done today that we need to do before we can put the engine in the car. So first, headers, manifolds. Don't want you guys getting upset with me calling them headers. They're not headers, they're manifolds. All right, so the hardest part is gonna be peeling this tape off. All right, hard part over. We do have some tape residue from the crappy white tape. This blue tape doesn't stick very well to stuff, or as well, but it doesn't leave anywhere near as much residue. So we'll go over this, just clean it one more time. And one more thing. We're doing ARP flywheel bolts. I just want to do it to be safe. I don't want my flywheel flying through my feet. We got these. I hope these are right. These are I think they're 12 mil header bolts, manifold bolts, whatever, exhaust manifold bolts. Because all my other ones were pretty much broken, and they're all 10 mil head, which they snap really easy. So these are the larger 12 mil. There's like you can get either 13 or 12 with the same part number. Kind of confusing, but whatever. Also a copper spray gasket. So we're gonna spray the gaskets, install the manifolds. Put the bolts through it. Just do the outsides. Then get these couple started. Should have grabbed a little impact. Make this process a little easier. Oh, we're losing it. We're good. We got it. Okay. So now we can let it sit. Grab impact. Hooray! Tighten those down with a wrench or ratchet. Well, doesn't that look snazzy? Let me get the other one on and I'll show you guys what it looks like. Before I forget, those of you who don't know, we have these No Turbos, No Problem shirts out now. The back, oh, I got it. This is what the back looks like. So right now, for a limited time, I don't know how long, we're gonna be giving away free No Turbos, No Problem stickers with every purchase of a No Turbos, No Problem shirt. So if you guys are interested in the shirt, check it out, link below, taylordress.com. Also have the Seat Time Greater Than Mod shirt with the Z. I love both of them. I'm really stoked on them. This is like, I'm really hyped to be doing cooler, like more merch like this. Like, I don't know, stuff I'm passionate about. So anyway, I still love turbos. Don't get me wrong. I've had a lot of problems with turbo cars. Don't hate me. Weather's getting a little sketchy out, as always, typical Florida. So this is what they look like on. Also, I finally got a dipstick tube. I just ordered this like universal stainless braided one because this is kind of like the style that comes on the Cummins trucks, and it's so much easier to get in and out than the factory like bent stamped steel ones or whatever. But this is what they look like. Man, it looks sick. Like for just stock G8 manifolds, that looks pretty snazzy, I have to say. Muy hyped. Oh. Alright, we've got the engine in the air with the engine hoist. So we're going to take the bell housing bolts off so we can pull the trans off, so we can pull the clutch off, so we can put the flywheel bolts in and the remote bleeder.
That means you're inferior, not major.
I just looked it with my back, but okay. Look guys, I got a real torque wrench. I hate working in tight, confined areas like this with like stuff all over the ground, but it definitely helps me work faster. So we're just gonna take them out one at a time. So this is like the ARP torque lubricant, but it's not a sealer. So I guess I'll put some RTV on part of it. I mean, you need to use thread seal, otherwise this will leak. So just gonna run them in with this. Does not make enough torque to matter. So we need to wedge breaker bar on the front of the crank going the opposite direction, so when we torque this, it doesn't just spin the motor over. Actually, a few things I almost forgot. One, I have this crank pin kit from LSX Innovations. They sent this over. Basically, you bolt this piece on to the crank. That allows you to drill a hole. The hole kind of drills a little bit in the crank and a little bit in the pulley, which allows you to stick one of these pins in that acts as a keyway like we were talking about earlier. So huge thank you to them for sending that over. I don't know if I'll have time to do it today, but I'm definitely gonna do it before I put the engine in the car. But I just wanted to send a thank you to them. As always, they included very thorough instructions. One thing I really love about their company. And everything you need, like they send you 4 pins, so you can do multiple motors if you want with one kit, so that's pretty cool. Okay, so the next thing we need to, packing peanuts everywhere. Next thing we need to put on is this, the remote bleeder line, like bleeder kit. This just allows you to get to the bleeder screw for the throwout bearing without having to like try to get up all the way up on top of the bell housing. I'll show you guys when we take care of this. I got some injector O-rings for the injectors in the fuel rail to make them a little tighter. And also I got this package to my P.O Box, built by Hutch.com. He makes a bunch of 3D printed stuff. I started to open this, but then I was like, I need to wait until I'm filming to show you guys. So there are, he wrote me a letter. Let me tell you guys what it is real quick. Visor delete plates, visor GoPro mounts angled so you can use it without needing extension. Auber multimeter accessory plates, which is cool because those are the gauges I use, so in case I want to move them, which I will need to probably. Oh yeah, it allows them to go in the accessory slot around the gauge bezel thing. And then he makes like custom eyeball vents, which I haven't looked at yet, so we're gonna check those out. These are the V8 ones. Oh yeah, look, these have my logo, so I can swap out which one it is. And they still work as a vent. That's pretty neat. I can't wait to put those in. So sick. Sorry, I'm drenched in sweat. It's hot in Florida. I think there's some hardware in here that I gotta dig out. But anyway, I just wanted to show you guys that. I really appreciate the stuff that you guys send to the P.O Box. I always try to open it in a video because I'm thankful for it. So, remote bleeder line. I'm just gonna put that on and show you guys what it looks like. Dying. All right, so this is what was on there. It was screwed in right there in the top, so you could get like a socket on it from up here. But the trans tunnel is going to be pretty tight right around there, so it's really hard to get up in there, and then you're spraying fluid kind of everywhere in here. So this comes out, and then you have your little bleeder here. So you just pump the clutch, break that bleeder loose. So it's just remote, so you can get it from like all the way down here. So definitely worth doing. Will make bleeding the clutch a lot easier, that's for sure. So okay, I'm gonna put that back on, line it up, and then try to get the trans back on. All right, the trans is back on. I've got the yoke here for the drive shaft. A good way to make sure that like at least the clutch is engaged is to have the drive shaft and the yoke in and spin the engine a little bit. And just make sure that the trans is spinning with it. Make sure that it doesn't. You can take it out of gear. Ta-da! All right. Now we have the ARP flywheel bolt, a remote clutch bleeder line, and you know, everything's torqued properly. That's about it. So I'm glad I went ahead and did that, mainly for the clutch bleeder line. I figured while I was in there, I wanted to check the flywheel bolts. I was going to check them. I needed to replace them, so I just decided to upgrade them to ARPs. So we do need to do the crank pin kit, but again, I think I might do that another day. I need to get this stuff out of my way so I can go ahead and unload my truck because I still haven't unloaded it from the drift event. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this video now. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for subscribing. Next video, we'll be putting the motor in the car. Next Miata video, we'll be putting the motor in the car. I might do it tomorrow, but I'm going to Texas the day after tomorrow. I don't know that I'll have time. If not, for sure when I get back from Texas. So I'll see you guys then. I hope you're excited. I'm excited. Final engine install. Let's do it.